people's death and stuff
so
like
funny.
that.
I think it's funny as all hell.
Okay, let's
I
take,
really do.
we're going to take a couple steps back here. Like
More steps back?
Yeah, 100 steps back.
There was a great...
3 steps back I want to take.
To reference them a second time, there was a great Kids in the Hole bit where the drummer was the only survivor of a bus crash, and he's giving a press conference, and he says, and they said, we've decided at this point the best thing to do is just to go on with the tour.
Yeah, see, I don't...
The drum solo?
I don't... in death in general, I've noticed that Fred throughout life has always been pretty disconnected and basically insane. As much as earlier in the show he played to be the normal person because he plays word association well, that somehow means he's not crazy. But I've telling Fred that people were dead, his response has always been like, "Oh man, that sucks." Oh no, something else I was thinking about. Like it never has anything to do with the fact that I just told him someone died. You know, he's a disconnected, weird dude, and you actually continued a band, you know, after your original drummer died, and then that drummer died too.
It was like Spinal Tap.
Like I said, like it's Spinal Tap, and I shouldn't be laughing about because both these dudes were friends of mine, like guys that I was, you know, I was good friends with.
It was crazy, but they were the drummer. I mean, I don't want to say they were expendable, but you know, you're going to keep a band going. If they were the singer, it's harder to do.
Wait, you were the singer of that band,
Exactly.
right? Didn't the singer of that band die too?
Yeah.
Years later. Staten Island, Ovaltine. Go to MySpace.com and look for Ovaltine, and I hope that they actually have music up there.
You don't.
Like 3 members of your band are dead.
Yeah, totally. That was like that's
Why
bad.
them, not you?
It's true. I ask myself that every day.
No, I mean, then you wouldn't be able to do a show then.
That's funny. I forgot all about the first singer that died.
Yeah.
Wow. But she wasn't in the band when she did die.
No,
So-
yeah, it was years later.
Yeah.
Years later, you already stole that job from her.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if someone in Sandwich died, you would keep going with the band. I thought if you in the
No,
hearts.
Sandwich broke up 4 years ago, dude.
No, I'm saying when you were playing, like 2
If
months.
any member of Sandwich dies today, I will restart the band and continue going with it.
You would go with it, man. You would go with it.
If Fred dies, who are we replacing him with?
What do you mean?
A dog.
I think we've discussed in the past, would you continue on the show if I died?
Of course. And I would be upset if I'd be 100% honest with you, if I died. And I mean, if we're going to put it out there.
Would you continue on this show right now if I
If you
died right now?
yeah, just call 911. We'll do 911 on the air. Here,
A
hold on.
great ending bit.
Oh God, that'll be awesome.
Would you leave it in your will that your wife would let us in?
Oh, I got 9 and 1 dialed. As soon as you die, I'll hit 1 and we're ready.
We're sorry. The number you dialed.
Sorry.
If you died, would we still be able to do the show here?
Okay, I'm being dead serious. I mean, like, and this goes back to like a year ago when I was arrested and I spent a couple hours, you know, like a day and a half in jail. Like, I would expect that this show will continue no matter what. And I say that now. Meanwhile, the one show that we've actually preempted was because a friend of ours passed away. You know, I mean, I would love it if the show would continue. Granted, like, I mean, like, if I died yesterday, I would hope you would do the show today. I mean, it's something I would hope. I would think that, you know, there might be other issues on. I got no problem with that. And, like, I mean, and I'm saying this out there.
Yeah,
I'm
I
putting
finally
it out,
don't have to show up.
I'm putting it out there because, I mean, the likelihood is it's either Keith or I that's going any minute now, if you really think about it.
I did lose 8 pounds this week.
Okay, I guess it's me that's probably going then. Let me take that back because I've gained that 8. The 8 that he lost, I've retrieved.
Although I ate more than usual and I lost 8 pounds, so maybe it is me.
And going back to you telling me that I'm weird about death, everyone's weird about death. Everyone takes death in their very strangely. You know, it's a strange thing to see someone die that you were close to, isn't it? I mean, how do you handle it? You just cry in your room all that day, or what do you do?
I'm like a big homo.
Really? Are you sad?
I act totally normal and cool for as long as I can, and then at one point I just snap and I cry like a total, you know, creep.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I'm normal again.
What about you, Keith? How do you do with that?
I don't go to wakes or funerals.
I know, isn't that the worst? That is the
I don't
worst
go to
tradition ever.
Yeah, I used to not. But then too many of my friends died, and I can't. Like, I have to be able to see my friends once last time. Yeah, like I said, and I'm cool, and then I snap. Like, it's usually days after the fact, and sometimes even not even sometimes. The majority of the time, it's after the wake.
Mm-hmm.
It's and then I lose it, and I
You cry.
Yeah, I fall apart after the fact. Like I said, it was like our buddy Joe passed away an unbelievably long amount of time now. It doesn't even seem like it. A drummer, by the way, a few years back, and it really doesn't seem like it's that long ago, but it's been like a long time. And I was cool, and I went, everything was fine, everything was fine. Like, and then 2 days, like, we went to a party, like, we had like a party, like, like almost like a tribute to him at a friend of ours' house. And, like, watching videos of him and stuff. And everything was cool and I was fine. And then I just went to the bathroom at, like, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, pissed drunk. And just looked in the mirror and, like, the moment hit me, like, wait, I'm never going to see Joe again. And I totally lost my S and just started breaking down crying. I walked out of the room and grabbed my wife. I was like, all right, let's go. I just walked out. Actually, she was my girlfriend at the time. I was like, let's go. And I just walked out the door like I just had a nervous breakdown, like, and it collapsed.
Does like...
By the way, Ustreamer 13185, my favorite person, said, if he starts crying right now, I'm leaving this stream.
I think everyone else was hoping for it.
But then does anger set in after that? After, like, that crying and that catharsis? Anger doesn't set in?
I never get to that. We've talked about that you get that all the time, that you're mad. You want to always punch your friend because you're like, you stupid ass, why'd you do this to yourself? Like, I never get the anger. Like, because you know what, man? We've all been screw-ups our entire life. We've all effed up majorly. We're just lucky enough that we rode out the storm. I've been listening to a lot of old Brown Lodge shows this week, our old radio show, and like I listened to like a couple of the shows, and a bunch of them, like the recurring theme was just like, wow, how did we survive, and how did so many of our friends die? Like, because the fact of the matter is, I've done more wrong things to my body than could be even understood, other than by other people in this room who've done the same thing,
and the situations you put yourself into too.
Between drinking and driving. Needles going in my arm, shooting horrible substances in me. Like, I've
102 in Lex at 2 in the morning.
No, 116. 116 on the other side.
Was it 116 even back then? I thought it was further down.
I only went to 116, but that's but that's me. But I mean, like, they just screwed up awful things we've done. And the only thing that separates us from them is like there's some sort of lucky physiological thing about you that has made you survive the awful things you've done to yourself. I mean, like, you haven't done, Fred, I'm talking to you specifically, you haven't done so bad to yourself drug-wise, right?
No, I have never done heroin or cocaine or dust. It's just really like the hallucinogens.
You're missing out.
I know.
You missed out.
The hallucinogens and the...
hallucinogens, there's nothing good about that. Well, I mean, like...
But being around it, you feel helpless. You feel almost like you're doing it, you kind of... Because... I don't know.
You feel like a non when you're being around and everyone else is partying and you're just like, oh.
No, like a noob.
I'll smoke this joint. I'll get really high, guys.
Yeah, as I see people nodding off in the corner. That's fun.
Dude, you want some of this hash? No, I'm looking at Jesus right now. Let me alone.
Let me alone.
Let me alone and turn up the Zeppelin.
Hey, you want some of my joint? Gay. I don't think he's ever said, hey, you want some of my joint, though, so that probably didn't come up.
But I never would thought that this many people would die.
Zombie points out somehow Sexy Bag Keith has managed to survive, and Ustreamer 13185, which I hope that's your name when you come back next week, because you will be back next week. Try letting a girl digitally play with your butt. It will mess you up for many days. I don't understand.
Not life?
I think physically it'll probably mess you up for a few days.
I'll mess up her finger if she does it to me, but that's a different story. Oh, digitally, you mean like electric, like do.
So say if they had a thing where...
They do. They have multiple things.
Where heroin was not going to affect you in a bad way. Would you start doing heroin?
I was never a heroin guy, no.
Or was cocaine or whatever you
Tomorrow.
did. Whatever your vice, yeah.
Tomorrow.
If they said cocaine...
Wait until tomorrow?
You would start doing it again if there was going to be no major side effects and you could still function.
If it was good for me, sure. I would take it like a vitamin pill every 12 to 15 minutes.
You too, Keith? If there was no side effects to any of the drugs that you did, would you still take them again? Would you go back?
Legal, no bad side effects, can't die from it.
Mm-hmm. Say if they cured cancer, would you start smoking again, Chris? Did you like smoking that much?
I loved smoking for the longest time. I stopped enjoying it. That's why I quit. That's why I quit. Because when I quit, like, it's not like I had anything to live for that